My name is Sophie Reiner. I was born in France. I grew up with horses because my grandfather was a very famous horse breeder in France. So I got my first pony, I was 3, my first horse, I was 7. I grounded the Donkeys of the Art in 2019, end of 2019. And the purpose and the mission I have for our non-for-profit is to give access as much as possible to anybody. We all know that mental health is a serious issue in the United States, and often alternative therapies like donkey therapy is extremely expensive. So in my vision, we have very low fees that can allow anybody to have access to the donkey therapy. It was my early 30s. A friend of mine called me. She rescued a donkey the day before. She had no room for him on her property, and she said, "I'm coming with." Okay. That was my first donkey, and I had no idea about donkeys. So luckily, one of my neighbors had donkeys, so I ran to his house. "Please let me know what I can do for a donkey." First thing he said, "Oh, you cannot have just one donkey. A donkey cannot survive if he's alone, even if he's with horses. They need to have buddies, donkey buddies." So 1 month later, I got 3 more. And that's how my loving story started with donkeys.
Hi, my name is Shelley Brown and I'm a special education instructor. Today we're going to be working with Parker, who's on the autism spectrum. He has a hard time communicating with others, particularly adults, when he's at school. Today we'll be using Parker's communication goal from his IEP and using the donkey as an intermediary to help him keep from disengaging with either myself or the donkey and just walking away. So we're going to be using some grooming methods, some brushing to help him communicate with an adult and just talk about today pretty much just how he's feeling in general. Does he feel soft?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Good job, Guillermo. Good job. Yeah. Did you have a good day at school today? Can you tell me one thing about school today that made you happy? What did you like about school today? What about lunch today? Did lunch make you feel happy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did anything happen at lunch today?
No.
No? Did anybody say something to you at lunch today?
No, I talked to my friends.
You did? Yeah? Did you sit with anybody at lunch today? Or did you sit by yourself?
I sit by myself.
Yeah? Do you have a friend that you'd like to sit with at lunch sometimes?
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's have Guillermo be your friend and ask if Guillermo would like to sit with you at lunch. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. So why don't you ask Guillermo if he would sit with you at lunch today? Very good. Now let's just say that Guillermo says no today. He's not feeling like it.
No.
So he just says, "No, I don't feel like it today."
I think he actually just said no.
So if he said no today and you didn't like that response, what would you do? What would you get upset?
I'll just say okay.
You just say okay. Just say okay. 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 And then you could go on to lunch. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was funny. He did that well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So now let's ask him if he would like to sit with you at lunch today, and let's pretend he says yes this time.
Would you like to sit at lunch with me today? Yes.
Very good. Very good. There you go. He answered you. Very good. Is Guillermo your friend?
Yeah. He's a good friend.
He's a good friend. Yeah, he is a good friend. It's particularly satisfying as a teacher to see when the kids make progress and they're outside and they're with the donkey. They're not in the classroom, they're not surrounded by things that are traditionally making them anxious or upset. They're in a different environment where they feel empowered to just be themselves. And it was particularly satisfying to see Parker's progress today when he was actually smiling and enjoying our session, and some of the things that normally would worry him were left behind.
I was close from a big psychiatric center, and they were working with ponies and horses, and they wanted to try donkeys. They had a lot of clients from the age of 6 to 67 affected by autism. We started to work with a young boy, and I will never forget him. And that's what drives me to success. I will never forget this experience. Patrick, this little boy, was 8 years old, and he was really shut down. He couldn't communicate, and he was almost never talking. So when he first started to work with the donkeys, he had immediately an amazing bond with the donkeys. 3 were domesticated animals, amazing donkeys. But my first experience was with this abused donkey, and his name was Keshu. Keshu suffered a lot from his previous owners. They were stabbing him on all his body. So for him, human was danger and pain. But I showed them, some pictures of the donkeys where they were living in their big field. Patrick started to draw donkeys in a field, and he was drawing a big, big donkey. They realized that he was pointing on the drawing the white donkey all the time, and he was showing himself the donkey. So they asked me if it would be possible that Patrick meets this donkey. And I was extremely cautious, knowing that he has been so badly abused that first he will never interact with a human, at that time, of course. And I was a bit worried about safety. Safety is number one in my non-for-profit. So finally, we found a way to have Patrick coming to visit Keshu. I was there with Patrick and 2 mental health therapists. The parents stayed on the other side of the field. And the donkey, Keshu, usually when someone was coming, he was just running away on the opposite side. This time he didn't move. And Patrick was walking with a lot of energy toward the donkey. And the donkey didn't move. Keshu was not showing any kind of stress. And Patrick was walking to him, and he put his hand on his neck, and Keshu stayed. That blew my mind. This donkey that nobody could approach, this little boy could create a bond, and the donkey felt Patrick, soul and brain. That was fantastic. And so I let Patrick petting Keshu for a while, and then Patrick looked at me and said, "Keshu, Keshu." I almost had tears in my eyes. This child that couldn't communicate was able to pronounce the name of the donkey. So we found out how to have Patrick interacting with Keshu twice a month in this field. But from that time, Patrick, within a year, has been able to build very good relation and communication. What I noticed very quickly is how calm was Patrick. Even if he was not with the donkey, he was more calm, he was more gentle. That was such an experience Yeah, when I think about it, it's almost tears. That's why donkeys are so great. And that gives me the strength every day to build this non-for-profit, and because I know that the results are just beyond your expectation.
Alfred and Lainey are going to be working together. Lainey will be using chalk, and she will be expressing both positive and negative feelings of how she's feeling in the classroom. She has a lot of anxiety in the classroom. Other kids can make her feel intimidated, and so she will talk about that and will draw pictures on Alfred. And sometimes if she tends to focus more on the negative things, then we will go to the other side of Alfred and encourage her to use some of the more positive language.
Good boy. Oh, Lainey, I can see that you've been drawing a lot. May I ask you more detail? By example, what does it mean, this drawing?
So in this drawing, this is the positive side.
Okay.
And so...
Oh, I see. You
yeah,
draw a P. Yeah.
I drew a P for positive. So on here, it's one person talking to me, and then another person talking to me, because these are like the words, and so like it's us like greeting each other.
Good. So I guess you're very proud of you now, because you accomplished a lot since we first started to work with Alfred. Can you just tell me more about all the positive things that you've been able to accomplish during these last 6 months working with Alfred, and what did you learn from that?
So being with the donkeys and Alfred, I've like felt more anxiety free, like, because it just calms me, because I love being outside and being with the nature.
One of the things that really stands out to me with the donkeys is being outside and being in nature with the donkey and being present in the moment. And I particularly like that especially a child can come and be removed from the cell phone or the video game or the classroom even, and be just with the donkey, just with their emotions and their thoughts, and be vulnerable and put them out there in a very safe place. And really, what's more safe than Mother Nature to do that?
Okay. So let's go on the other side, because I saw that you drew something. We have an N for negative. Okay. Yep. So what does it mean, this side?
So on this side, it's someone talking to me, but I didn't respond because I was more shy and just like a quiet kid. But now that I've been talking to you, I've just like, it's gotten way better because I actually talk to people now.
Yeah, well, that's a lot. You can be very proud of yourself now, Lainey, because I know that when we first met, it was a big struggle for you being at school, and sometimes you were even very sad. And you are a smile person, so it's great. So the shark exercise has something that allows us to build a bridge in terms of communication. And I think it's very interesting that Lainey chose one side for the negative purpose things and a positive side. And I know that she did a lot during the last 6 months. She's now way, way better in terms of not being affected by some student that could be mean or rude to her. And she's not so anxious about this kind of interactions. That was before she was down, when she couldn't handle the interaction between students, or even with the teachers, or with her family or friends. How Alfred has been helping you?
He's been really helpful because he's calm, and when we went on a walk, we had a little picnic, and I sat down and I just sat down on a big rock and Alfred started protecting me, which that made me feel kind of special and loving.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Alfred is very protective, yeah. Alfred was a feral donkey 2 years ago, and he is shy, but he is the perfect donkey for donkey therapy. He has a very protective side, and so when you interact with him, you feel confident. You know that you can trust him. So now Lainey is brushing Alfred. It's a kind of cleaning for her, all the challenges and starting from something different, a different perspective about how to relate with others, how to handle the anxiety that she can have. So now that Alfred is clean, she can move forward. So why donkeys are so good? Often they suffer from a bad reputation, like stupid, stupid, they kick, they bite. So a donkey think a lot. By example, if they have to face something new that might be spooky, a horse will fly away. A donkey, well, he may move trotting 2 or 3 strides away, but then he will stop and he will face the danger and he will process the information. Okay, is it a real danger? Can I avoid it by going left or going right? Or it's really a real danger, so I'm not moving forward. So this quality is absolutely fantastic in terms of therapy, because they are fearless, or they have another strategy in front of dangers. In our societies, we are submitted to a lot of pressure. Children at school, they always got to do the best. Adults in their professional life, or you always had to do the best. You have to be the best. It's a lot of pressure. So the donkey, because of his behavior, will tell you it's not an issue to have a boundary. Look at me. I cannot go there because it's too risky. There is a danger. So we know it, we don't avoid it, but we try to deal with. That's what the donkey will do.
Today I'm going to be working with my client. Her name is Jackie. This is only her second session. Jackie's experienced a lot of trauma in her life, so she's going to practice walking Charlie today and hopefully doing some communicating with him, possibly some grooming. So let's get started. I got this. Oh, you know what? Let's walk just a little bit longer. Are you ready? I got this. You know what? I think you do. There you go. Good job, Jackie. How about I hold Charlie? Does that sound good? I want to groom. Okay. Oh, I think Charlie likes that. How's your week been? Good. Anything in particular that you really enjoyed this week?
Seeing Charlie.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. I bet Charlie enjoys seeing you, too. Any plans for the upcoming week?
See Charlie again.
Well, that's something to look forward to. I've been around horses pretty much my whole life. In the last few years, I've worked specifically in the rescue world with horses. I'm still very passionate about them. I still love them very much. But it is different working with donkeys particularly in this environment. I was caught off guard by how still a donkey could actually be during a session and how they were still paying attention, still very aware of what the client was saying or doing, still very aware of their situation around them, but could be very still and patient with those people who were touching them and talking to them.
With a donkey, they know exactly who you are, like a horse, within half a second. And the base of the donkey therapy, like the horse therapy, is based on congruence and incongruence. Congruence is that you are who you are. You do not pretend to be someone else. So the equines, and especially donkeys, can get that immediately. And they accept you as you are. There is no judgment. Even if someone is extremely agitated, yelling, moving super fast, it is the way this person is. And they can do a great work with that. Now when you are incongruent, when you pretend to be someone else, they get it immediately too. So with this kind of behavior, they have a hard time. So donkeys, they're not going to run away. They're just going to turn their head on the other side, showing you, hey, go back to who you are. Don't pretend. With me, it doesn't work. And their calming effect is so strong. People will calm down. We have a protocol, so each client, the goals are set by either the therapist or the counselor or the psychologist. And we try to reach the goals through different exercise interactions with the donkeys. After each session, we write a brief note that is sent to the mental health professional so we can adapt. She can or he can use during the week all the benefits that has been shown during the session. Now we are going to work with Judith and Anne. So it's a mom and her daughter. Because of very bad divorce situation, they were not able to build a real relationship. And when they started to build their relationship, it was with a lot of conflict, misunderstanding, to the level that they couldn't live together. So both of them are coming for the fourth time. And today we are going to work with an exercise that helps to build trust, confidence, and to get a better communication. So Judith is going to have a bandana on her eyes, so she will be blind. And Anne is going to lead her through a little course. So Anne has to tell her the right information, where she has to go, how many steps she needs to go, if she needs to turn left or turn right. So this exercise is very strong because Judith needs, of course, to trust the donkey, and she needs to trust her mom. And walking, so in a movement, moving forward.
Go straight. Wrong.
Always so late with your freaking directions.
Stay left.
You're so bad.
To your left. Sorry. Turn left.
I stepped on a cone.
Well, now I need you to
You
stay.
have no directional abilities.
Stay straight. Come to your left. Walk straight. Okay, we're going to go straight, and it's very narrow. Go to your right a little bit.
So how was your experience today?
I think my experience was pretty okay. My mom kind of sucks at giving directions, but I think she got better at it when we did it again.
She definitely has a bad habit of only thinking of how she thinks and not how other people think. But I hope this helps. I think it did.
Okay. And what about you, Anne?
I think that it went okay, and she's probably correct when she says that I don't think slow enough. I'm doing something and kind of giving direction at the same time, and I should be a little bit slower and more clear. So I did learn that. But she tends to be more aggressive if I make a mistake, so she jumps all over me. But it seemed to be a little bit better as we were coming around the second time. I think I kind of clicked with her a little bit better.
Okay. So how can you use this moment that you spent with Charles in the next days to help you to have a better communication?
I feel like in the next couple of days, I won't jump down her throat if she says something that I think is incorrect or is actually incorrect. I'll just be nice about it and not attack her.
And Anne, what do you think?
I think that when it comes to speaking with Judith and conveying any information that I need to convey where she has to listen to me, I will stop and take the time and be a little more aware of how my words are coming out and make sure that I'm being more clear and patient. I think that Charles showed me that I need to have a lot more patience. He's very patient with us making mistakes with him or giving a wrong direction. He's not fighting it. He's just reassessing and going with the flow, and I think that's what I need to take from him.
Okay, great.
Charles doesn't like being yelled at, and I'm sure my mom doesn't like being yelled at, so I mean, I should definitely stop yelling at her. Charles definitely showed me I should stop yelling at her.
Yeah. Donkeys, like horses, are extremely generous. Once they've been working 1 hour with someone, they are extremely tired. They are giving so much. And all my donkeys are very different. When we start to work with a client, we try to match the best donkey with the challenges of our client. I have 6, and they all have a very different personality, and that blows my mind each time to see that a donkey will move forward to someone when the others might not. And most of the time, that means that the partnership is going to be amazing. They have this level of interaction which is so high that they can detect your inner spirit, how you feel. By example, Guillermo can't stand the most agitated person, or the ones that are going to scream, that got a really hard time. He can handle that very easily. Albert, the white one, who is the less skilled right now because he needs more training, is a very shy donkey. And he's perfect with persons that are really shut down, who cannot communicate. So each one has a different personality that match almost all the different kind of person we are going to work with. Donkeys are so smart that they can be with anybody. So Sandy is living by herself, and unfortunately her children and grandchildren are living very far away from Arizona, and she's feeling isolated, and so she feels lonely, kind of solitude, and a little bit of depression. So Sandy is coming once a week. She bonded very strongly with Albert, with a shy boy, a very cool boy, and together they are very well bonded now. And Sandy, she spent about 1 hour with Albert, and they are talking together, as you can see, petting, speaking. And Sandy told us last week that since she's interacting with Albert, her life is way better.
So I'll never forget when I really made the connection between donkeys, humans, the therapy, and what it actually means and what it does. It was actually a day, one of my very first sessions here with Donkeys of the Heart, and I was also dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety, and I finally just put my hands on Alfred's neck and I just started breathing. I could just feel myself getting calmer and felt my anxiety level decreasing, and I was just much more capable of being present in the moment. And it was due to Alfred and just him being calm, and it made me feel calm.
So we need volunteers to help during the sessions. We never have more than 4 donkeys working at the same time. It means a client, a donkey, a volunteer. The volunteer working during the session must have a background in either special need education or mental health. I would like to have volunteers to help me for their well-being. Donkeys, they love to be entertained. They love to be with humans. So when they are not working, and luckily we are in a beautiful area, if people can come with me walking with the donkeys, that has a huge impact on their well-being. And then on the addition, it's a fantastic experience. It has something magical to walk with the donkey. 5 volunteers, if you can come, once a week to make long walks with the donkeys, and they carry everything. So don't worry about the weight of your water. If you want to collect stones or flowers, donkeys are carrying all our mess. Their well-being is very important, but we need someone for the bookkeeping, fundraising, of course. We need people that can help in terms of communication, because without volunteer, I can't make it. I need volunteer. And there's a lot of work with the Donkeys of the Art. So whenever you feel like being part of this amazing project, just contact us. We need volunteers. So maybe you don't have time to come and walk with the donkeys, interact with them, but there are many other ways to help us. We buy our hay in Black Mountain Feed in Cave Creek. We have a wishing list over there that includes, of course, their food, but everything we need to make their life the most comfortable possible. You can donate on our website. We work with PayPal charity funds, so all your donations are 100% deductible. Any dollar is welcome. With your donation, we will make it, and you will be part of an amazing project. My vision is to give the opportunity to anybody to come and have the unmeasurable benefits of the donkey therapy. So the fees are very low. You can imagine that the very low fee that we have cannot cover all the expenses. With your donation, we will make it. Edgar, Alfred, Albert, Charles, Guillermo, Violette. The 6 of them, they will be very happy. Welcome to the Donkeys of the Art world, and become a member with what you can give to this beautiful non-for-profit.